You know, a bike should be for life, and not just for Christmas, but sadly that isn't always the case. As riders become more experienced, they tend to go for lighter, powerful, and a for sale sign can easily pop up. But if you're the type of person who likes to grow with and not grow out of your motorcycle, then don't overlook this slinky little number. It's the Suzuki SV650S, and it could be right up your street. The bike is built around a 90-degree 645cc V-twin, featuring double overhead cams and 4 valves per cylinder. Its design is derived from its larger siblings, the TL1000S and the TL1000R. Despite the bike's competitive pricing, make no mistake, this motor is absolutely the very latest in technology, producing 70-odd horses at 9,000 RPM. The SV's 6-speed transmission is smooth and the gear ratios are well spaced, with its broad torque curve providing good pull from 3,000 RPM all the way through to the red line. You have more than enough gears to work with, and 6th gear is comfortably high at motorway speeds. The chassis and the swing arm are developed in part for their good looks, but they're made up from cast aluminium, which is extremely strong and stiff. You won't be able to tax this bike on the streets, and I've heard that apparently this chassis is super cool for track days, so all you speed enthusiasts out there, you'll have no problem with that. Okay, so the motor and the chassis are very good, but what about the handling? Well, if anything, the handling is even more impressive. Start with the stiff, well-designed chassis we've already discussed, and add to it the extremely low weight, around 169 kilos dry, according to Suzuki, some quality rubber, and you have a stable yet nimble package. Now, although the suspension is quite soft for hard charging through the corners, the chassis almost makes up for it. Besides, the softish suspension turns out to be perfect for most everyday riding purposes. Now, the brakes, in keeping with this theme, are excellent for a bike around this price range. Minimum force and just a couple of fingers is all you need to bring this lovely little SV nicely to a halt. So the SV is light, it's nimble, it's easy to ride, it's predictable and it's fast. Not only that, but it's well priced, so what have we got so far? Well, it's looking good, but let's check out those scores on the doors. I reckon it's a truly impressive bike that'll satisfy both the novice and the more experienced rider. Power is there, it's plentiful, and it's delivered in a characterful way. The brakes have plenty of stopping power, and this chassis is an absolute joy. So I reckon, to sum it up for performance, we'll give it a generous 9 out of 10. Comfort, well, it is biased more towards a sportier riding position, and that can be a little heavy on the wrist for someone who's smaller and a bit lighter like myself, although the overall comfort factor is there, and I reckon this little SV deserves 8 out of 10. And that brings us on to quality of the bike. It's build quality. Let's give it 9 out of 10. You know, those Japanese really know how to put a bike together. And for the price of this bike, they've used high quality components and there's a lot of workmanship gone into it. You know, it's not that easy really to find a bike that's as happy cruising up and down the motorway as it is tearing around a racetrack, and all for the bargain price of around £4,800. And for that, this SV deserves another 9 out of 10. Now let's talk street cred for a minute, shall we? This isn't a bad looking bike. I mean, it will blend in with most other bikes at the traffic lights. It doesn't exactly jump out at you, but if you want to go the whole hog, fit a natty little exhaust on the back and it'll sound just like a Ducati superbike. And for that, for now, it earns a street cred figure of 7 out of 10.